Hello, welcome to Record Sports Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. Every save counts, on the pitch and off it. Keep showers short, only boil what you need, and don't leave the tap running. Goals matter, but water is always worth saving. Search Scottish Water today. We've got a top show coming up for you today. We're going to hear from Lauren Shankland in the Scotland camp. But before that, Keith Scott, we're in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, and you sound like you're having a stroke. You all right?
I'm just so excited, Keith.
Welcome to Miami, Dan. We're here.
That's it.
Well,
Here we
when you say we're here, we're close by.
45 minutes.
I kind of, you know what, Scott is so excited, right? From when the draw was made, you've put a big red circle around. We will be in Miami. We got, I don't know what's happening, bad connection. We got to the airport, then I thought things took a turn for the better. We get out, some of the other boys from the other papers, they're going to a different hotel. They were getting, they ordered an Uber, they were basically getting a Honda tuk thing. And I got upgraded, didn't I, to an Uber XXL.
Lovely big Chevrolet.
Big white Chevrolet came.
It was beautiful.
I thought, oh boys, this is it. This is the shot in the arm that we needed. Everyone's going to take a turn for the better now that we're here. Miami's exactly what we need. Got this game to look forward to. Everyone's going to be brilliant. I've just got a feel in my bones. 45 minutes later, this guy drops us off at his big posh motor. And Alan Partridge's American motel, basically. But it's all right, isn't it?
Retirement home.
I mean, there's nobody here. I must say, we're not getting a feel. You said to me this is a world-famous, world-renowned race course.
It is, Gulfstream racecourse, which I've had many a bet on about 2 in the morning, half cup, when I've been back home. We'll have a clue who's racing.
You probably helped build this place, Scott.
Exactly, mate. So,
I mean, it does look, I get it, it looks great.
in all seriousness, Sam, I never thought I'd see Gulfstream racetrack, but here I am.
Well, you're getting
I'm
to see
not
the
just seeing
car
it,
park.
I'm getting to live in it.
But in terms of what I was hoping for, in terms of the Brazilians meeting the Scots and the party atmosphere, we're a bit removed from that right now.
We're a wee bit far away from where the action is, Dan, it's fair to say. I think we're about 40 minutes from South Beach in an Uber. So I think it's your turn for the taxi, Dan, so you can get out.
I got it from the airport, Dan.
Sorry, Scott, you're breaking up, mate. You're breaking up.
Don't hit me with that.
And the other classic, right? 2 wee pasty guys for Glasgow coming to Miami from Charlotte. And we've been travelling all over America. Never had any problems, never any issues. Yep. On the day that we're travelling to Miami, and I don't know what temperature it is here, 30 odd. I mean, it's scorching, it's sun-baked. We're coming through security. Woman stalks my bag. Next minute, she's like, aerosol. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. There goes my factor 30 P's booing. Binned, just binned. I actually think she was offering it to people, and then nobody what binned. And then your wee bag comes through, and your child version of sun cream it get binned as well.
My top-notch Nivea factor duffel coat.
That's what I got my daughter.
Which
she was 3.
No, the funniest thing about that is, when I bought it, I was absolutely delighted with myself because I get 3 for 2 at Sainsbury's. So that offer's been wiped out because she's just binned one of them.
2 for 2.
Isn't it such a bargain after all?
But so that's the moaning out the road. Look, we can't moan. Well, you know, we've left Charlotte, Scotland, trained there this morning, Scott. They're flying into Miami this afternoon. I mean, it is. We've talked about the heat. We've talked about it being a factor. It does feel as if it's going to be a particular factor in this game because as soon as you come out of the airport, it was like walking into a pizza oven, wasn't it?
And of course, I mean, it goes without saying the Brazilians are a lot more used to it than we are.
Yeah.
And I know we've been training.
Half of them play in Europe, so.
I know, but even when they play international football, in that South American qualifying, they'll be used to temperatures like this. We've tried our best, or the players in the squad have obviously tried their best to acclimatise. In terms of the pre-camp at Fort Lauderdale that we were at. So no, they will be getting more used to it. But I think Hard Rock Stadium
It's
on
got to be a furnace.
Wednesday night,
Furnace.
it'll be
it's going to be hot.
in more ways than one.
As you guys said, the Scotland team trained earlier today. It was Lauren Shankland's turn to do his media duties, and we've actually had some questions sitting in already about Shankland. And if you're watching at home, let us know your thoughts, send your questions in. Shall we hear from the Scotland striker before we go any further, guys? Let's have a little listen to what he had to say.
How big a challenge is this going to be to get the point that you need that would all but guarantee progression against Brazil?
Well, we know it's massive. Obviously, we've given ourselves the opportunity. We win in the first game to get into the next two and hopefully get a point for them at least. Missed out in Morocco, but we know we've got a big chance against Brazil. As you say, it'll be a tough challenge. Really quality squad, good team, and we'll need to be our best to get something out of it.
How much does it factor just the aura of Brazil, the history that they have with this competition when you're going into a game like this?
That's huge, obviously, for me particularly, you think of the World Cup. I think Brazil's one of the first teams that come to your mind. The first team I remember proper watching the World Cup and them winning it. So we know the challenge of that. We know obviously that side of it. But what we need to concentrate on is our jobs on the pitch, up against a good side. And as I said before, we'll need to be at our best.
So many different permutations of what gets Scotland through. What is the mindset you have to go in with against a team like Brazil?
We're going to get a result. That's what we know we need that. As I said, we'll give ourselves the opportunity to go and get it. Obviously, a draw will probably be enough to take us through. But now we go to try and win the game first and foremost. And if we can take a point for it as well, then we would take that.
You played in the first game, sat out the second game. In terms of going into this one, what do you have to get across to the manager, for example, to make him think that if he plays one striker, you're the man that can play that lone striker role?
Listen, the manager will have his views on everybody and where he sees those strengths being within the team and within the squad. He's got a large group of players to pick from out there. All you can do is, when you get the opportunity, do well when you go in, train well, and stay in his mind. There'll be a lot for him to think about, obviously. It's a big team selection, getting into such a big game as well. So, but I'll leave that side of things up to him. All I do is try and train well and give myself the best opportunity.
Given that, then, mentality-wise, do you have to be in that mental state of, if you aren't going to start, you have to make sure you can come on and affect the game and make that impact?
I've been about the squad long enough and played different roles. I've started some games, come off the bench a lot as well, so it's something that I'm quite familiar with, coming off the bench. So whatever role I'm asked to play, I'll be ready for, and that's the same for the whole squad.
Lawrence, in the two games so far, Scotland have had a lot of pressure in the opposition box, a lot of moments, but not a lot of clear-cut chances. Why do you think that is, and is it frustrating for you guys?
It is frustrating. Obviously, you would love to create a lot of chances, as you say. I think in the Morocco game, particularly towards the end, I think we did have a lot of moments. We just never managed to quite get on the end of them, one way or another, whether that be defending. I think there was one near the end, I think Doki getting in the way, Scotty as well. So just those small moments can play a big factor in the results, obviously. But the thing is, we're getting into good areas, and we believe we've got the quality within the squad to, when we get into the areas, produce that quality we're going to need.
In terms of Neymar, it looks like he may be starting centre forward. Thoughts on him, because you look at the Brazilian media and they're going ballistic over the return of the great man after like 2.5 years not playing for Brazil.
He's obviously a bit of an iconic figure for the Brazilians. It's quite obvious to say that, and you know how well he's done in his career, how good a player he is. So, but for me, he's up the other end of the pitch. The defenders don't need to deal with him. But I said it's just the noise around it. Obviously, as I said, he's iconic to Brazil, and we'll leave the excitement up to them.
It's a lot of pressure on you to get a point, get 3 points. Do you have time to enjoy it while you're here? I mean, it's obviously these games are very, very intense. Is it enjoyable?
It is enjoyable, of course, being here. You're at a World Cup, and as players you need to try and enjoy it, but we've got a job to do. I don't think we're quite enjoying it as much as the top normally are away for the pitch, but well, listen, we've got a job to do. We need to be professional, but of course at night you need to sit in your room and sometimes just take the moments in, and try and enjoy them. But I think it'll be further down the line that you'll proper take it all in.
Is there any part of you, when you see all the footage of the Tartan Army doing mad things, that little part of you going, geez, I wouldn't mind being out there just living the life?
Not at all, not right now. Maybe in the future when I'm older and hopefully Scotland teams are qualifying for the World Cup, I can come and enjoy it a bit more off the pitch. But for now, I'm really enjoying being on the pitch, being in amongst the games, being a part of it, and that's where we'll want to be.
Lawrence, just while we've got you, it's obviously you're concentrating on the World Cup, but so much happening back home as well. What have you made of Derek McInnes going to be your manager again now at Rangers?
Obviously, I seen the news while I was over here. Listen, please for the manager. It's a good opportunity for him. Please for myself to obviously be there. I've not too much time to think about it, if I'm being honest, and it's something that I'm kind of putting to the back of my mind. I'm looking forward to a fresh start when I go back, but right now I'm just looking to focus on this World Cup and enjoy this tournament.
How difficult or easy has it been for you, given everything that's happened since the end of the season, right through to playing in a World Cup and then say changes back home?
Times went really fast, to be honest. When I looked back and seen everything, I looked at the date for when everything kind of happened for the end of the season to getting to this point. It's actually not been that long, but it does feel a while. But no, the main thing is, as Tom said, I want to just enjoy this tournament and try and enjoy it. And I'll think about the rest of the stuff when I get back home.
Just finally for me, Lawrence, do you crave like one chance against Brazil? Get on the pitch, just give me it, because we can see how brilliantly you can finish, right? Just that one opportunity.
I'm craving more than one chance, to be honest. Hopefully we'll get a few. But no, listen, as a striker, everybody kind of talks about those moments in front of goal, and hopefully as a team, whether that's for me or for somebody else, we can create that. Hopefully one or more clear-cut chance to go and punish the opposition, and that's all we can look to do in this game.
Guys, Jim Whitefield has been in touch. He says, if I was Shankland, I would have chapped Steve Clarke's door and told him not to pick me for Brazil after the Morocco game. We needed a goal and he put Dykes on and then Stewart. Do you think Shankland would have been annoyed about his lack, or the fact he didn't get an opportunity against Morocco?
I think he'd have been a wee bit perturbed that Ross Stewart getting on ahead of him, if I'm honest, Daniel, when we were obviously searching for a goal towards the end of that Morocco game. But look, I think Lawrence would probably admit that the Haiti game wasn't his best. Still starved a service right enough up front in terms of gilt-edged chances, as he touched on there. So, they'd been a bit gutted, I think. I think he'd have felt he's ahead of Ross Stewart, probably ahead of Lyndon Dykes as well in the pecking order going into the tournament. But I think he'll have a part to play against Brazil, whether that's starting or coming off the bench.
Yeah,
if it was up to
for me,
sorry, go on, Keith.
For me, I couldn't understand the substitution. I couldn't understand quite a lot of what went on in the game. Some of the decisions that were making before kick-off. It wasn't Steve Clarke's finest hour, and unfortunately, there's a few of them at tournaments. And I just hope, I wrote a piece in the paper today just saying, come on, guys, it needs to be better. It needs to be better than this. We've talked before about regrets and not having them at the end of this tournament. The same regrets that we've carried home from the last 2 Euros. Steve Clarke has said that the players have been hurt by it, by their failure really to turn up, their failure to express themselves, to make a mark on the previous 2 tournaments. Kind of stunk the place out. I was really worried about where the direction of travel for the Morocco game, because it felt to me as if all the bold words, all the sort of 4-4-2 chat and this determination not to come back with regrets here, I think we were veering off down that direction against Morocco. And I know that we're about it. I would say Brazil are a better side than Morocco. So I know what we're about to come up against. I just don't want to see us play like that again. I want to see us at least take the fight to them. And if we're not good enough, and if we get a sore face, then do you know what? See, at least you try and make an effort. You try and engage. You don't just meekly roll over and try and go for a 1-0 defeat, a 2-0 defeat. I don't want to see it.
Look at Cape Verde against Uruguay.
Exactly.
Exactly. Smaller nations are coming. They're coming to these events. They're going, do you know what? We did the hard bit. We got here. Let's go and have the time of our lives. And we look terrified by it. And that's what I don't want to see tomorrow night. I couldn't understand why Lawrence Shankland didn't get thrown in. When you need a goal, when there's a guy that everybody acknowledges as the best finisher that we've got, why are you not putting him on the pitch? We've done an interview with Steve Clarke. I don't want to say too much, but there's some really big news. It'll be online from 10:30 tonight in terms of what the team might look like. And all I will say at this point is that I'm really heartened, because what my biggest fear was that we were going to try and do a Morocco performance on steroids and just load up our own penalty area and just try and survive without getting damaged too badly. I don't. From the interview that will go online at 10:30 tonight, I think it will make it pretty clear that that is not the intention. That I think, we're not going to be stupid about it. Nobody's asking us to be stupid about it. We don't want to open ourselves up and get torn apart here. But we need to carry some threats of our own. We need to have Brazil at least a little bit worried about what we might be able to do to them. And without breaking any secrets or embargoes, what I've heard so far, what will become evident at 10:30 tonight, gives me reason to believe that we're going to go into this game in a far more positive attitude than we did do the Morocco game. And I'm really happy with that score.
I would start Shankland, Daniel. I know that.
I was going to ask if you guys would do that.
That might be slightly controversial to some people, and I don't know who's going to.
Would you start him as a lone striker or in a pair?
No, I would start. I don't think Steve Clarke will go with two strikers against Brazil. I think it'll be one up top, and people might think Shankland's less suited to that role than an Adams or a Dykes. And look, they might be right, but in terms of goal threat, in terms of if we get one chance in the box, who would I want on it? I would have Shankland ahead of every other striker in the squad.
We need to score goals
by a distance.
We need to score goals.
And look, I've said for the last couple of days, that I want Ben Gannon Doak starting again as he did in the first game. And I tell you what, see if he does, and he's just he fizzes a couple of balls into the box, he can get crosses in again. Even if we've only got one striker, I would want that to be Shankland. And listen, I get the argument that an Adams or a Dykes maybe puts more work in up front, maybe is a better presser.
I think Shankland's a more clever player than both of them.
100%.
And that's what we maybe need from this. He will drop into pockets. He will, make run and make spaces for people to get in behind him.
Yep.
He'll keep the ball because he's technically very adept at that. And as you say, Scott, end of the day, if we can, and I don't know how many times we're going to get the ball, as much as we might want to make a fight of this, I don't know how many times we're going to get real proper deliveries into that penalty box. So if we don't have that many, we need to have somebody in there that can make the most of what chances do arrive.
Lawrence Shankland's admitted there that clear-cut chances have been few and far between for Scotland in the tournament. We know that. We can see it. So the likelihood of getting a glut of chances against Brazil is pretty remote. So again, I go back to it. If we're only going to get one or two, they might only be half chances. By the way, I would want Shankland on them. As I say, I know what Adams and Dykes gives us in terms of their work rate and occupying defenders and all the stuff like that. But I just think for this game, I know it's no all or nothing because depending on the result, every chance we'll still be in the tournament. But it's such a massive game. We've spoken all week about how we want to make an impact on the game. We want to try and remember it in the future. We need to try and score a goal. And the best player in the squad that's scoring a goal is Lawrence Shankland.
What we need to do, you're right, what we need to try and do is find ways of accommodating the guy that's most likely to create something and the guy that's most likely to finish it.
That's it. Simple terms.
If we're going to have a chance, that's what we need to do. Do you know what? One thing flashed into my mind when you were talking there, Scott, and for me, it's the moment that sums up why I think there is a strong argument for Shankland. When you think back to the chance that he took against Rangers at Tynecastle towards the end of the season, left foot, and even before he struck it, the point I'm making is, as he's approaching the ball, as he's shaping up, and he's actually shaping up, you can see he's had to run in a set. It was all natural, and there wasn't a minuscule doubt in my mind. As I saw him moving towards that ball, you'd think, that's the net, he's scoring. And if it was Shea Adams or Lyndon Dykes, I don't think I would have felt as confident as that.
I think
and that sums up to me why I think it's a very strong case for
I think
City.
Adams at his best has maybe got a finish like that in him, but it doesn't
But
do it often
one out
enough.
of 4, 1 out of 5. Shankland, you just know it's going to end up in the back of the
In
net.
terms of that finish, that's a finish I don't think a Dykes or a Stewart or a Hurst is capable of. So, for me, it's Shankland or Adams. We know how much Steve Clarke loves Shea Adams as his lone striker. It was interesting. I mean, we actually spoke to Shea Adams the other night, and again, without giving too much away, when it was actually put to him, you were obviously up front on your lonesome again tonight. You could almost see his eyes rolling. Do you know what I mean? To say, obviously been up front in a pair, getting into the tournament, and then the Haiti game. So, I listen. It's just a personal choice. Steve Clarke knows a lot more than me, but I would go with Shankland just because, as I say, if we get 1 or 2 chances, he's the guy I would want on it.
There's a lot of people wanting to have their say, guys. I've got lots of comments on the stuff you've been talking about. Let me run through a few of them and get your thoughts. Who's the Snitch says, Brazil are not used to being put under pressure. Go for it. P. McLaughlin says it's a rabbits in the headlights approach, especially that first half against Morocco. They need to be encouraged to be braver. Christopher Holmes says 4-2-3-1 with Shankland up front. Totally agree with you, Scott. Chris Smith says Shankland is better than holding the ball up than people think. Get the right ball into him and he can certainly play up there himself. Although Ian disagrees, he says he doesn't have the pace to play a lone striker. Blue Nose John says Clarke needs to stop stinking these tournaments out. We've become a laughing stock thanks to him. Scott says Finlay Curtis on the left, Dokes on the right, with Shankland up front on his own. And this one, Jason Miko says Clarke will do the exact same thing, I reckon. Limit the damage, and that will see us through. Why would he change now? And Gianni, our pal Gianni Keith says, will Scotland just sit in if they qualify for the last 32 and hope for penalties?
Well,
let's get there first.
Yeah,
exactly.
But there is a point to what Gianni's saying there, and I hate to say that. You know that I hate to say that, and Gianni knows that I hate to say that. But if we get through, so let's say we get a 2-0 defeat tomorrow night. So we've had 3 group games. We've scored 1 double deflection against Haiti. We've then limited the damage, 2 defeats against Morocco and Brazil. This was meant to be a landmark moment, us qualifying to get through out of a group stage, and it will be by definition a landmark moment. But it doesn't feel like something we should be, shouting for the rooftops about. We beat Haiti 1-0. I'd like to look back at the Scotland teams from past. The only difference is that the format's different. It's an extended tournament. You're not telling me that some of the teams of the past, and I know that we've slipped up against smaller nations, but come on, guys. This isn't enough yet to be able to say this is the best ever, even if we do get through. But, and here's the but, I think that it becomes a definitive moment in this campaign tomorrow night. If we go and we give them a game, and we can walk away at the end going, Wednesday night, and we walk away from it really proud and really content and satisfied with the way that the tactics were, the way that the players performed, that the individuals within the team were able to let loose a little bit and play. That changes everything.
Above everything else, what you want for Wednesday night is, see if you're going to go through, you want to see something against Brazil that makes you think, you know what,
we might be able to do something in the last, as opposed to just shutting up shop, praying not to get too badly beaten up, and then limping forward with a bloody nose into the next game, whether it's Germany or whether it's Mexico. There's 2 possibilities. They're going to be looking at it going, well, this is cannon fodder. We'll just hammer them now. It's an easy. This is almost like a bye. We don't want whoever we get in the next round to think, these are also runs. We'll batter them. You need them to think.
You need them to look at the Brazil game
and think, if they can do that at Brazil, they're going to cause us problems. That's why this game in Miami matters so much.
Patrick Thistle in the comments says Scott and Jacko have been kidding on. They've been over there with the press pack. They've actually been training with the team, and Clarke will spring a surprise by playing both up front against Brazil. Guys, can you shed any light on these rumours that are growing?
Well, I guarantee you that Scott's not going to play up front. I might allow him to sit in midfielder role. I've got the legs for up front.
I'll just sit in the midfield, spray passes a bit.
Actually, I'm more your number 10. I can do that cheating role, just kind of You know how Messi plays at walking football?
Just play dope wide right, Shankland up front. I'll supply them all day long. Don't worry.
Aye, I was going to say that, Scott. I was going to say that. And just before we finish, Keith, you mentioned Messi there. Paul McLaughlin's one of a few people talking about Messi. We have a new record goal scorer in the World Cup. Take a bow, Messi. Argentina, 5 goals so far in the World Cup, all from Messi. Unbelievable.
Love him. And I told you, didn't I? And
You did say
I'm
Scott was doubting.
I'm
And I said, I'm telling you, he spent the last 4 years preparing for this moment. This is his crowning glory. I mean, look, his crowning glory, if it was Qatar, it's not a bad one. But even just the fact that he had to put on that stupid gown to lift the World Cup, there's a better ending for Lionel Messi.
Getting the trophy off Trump.
I know, I was just thinking that. I know that's... I know.
Maybe might hit him over the head with it. I don't know what it is, but I felt that Messi was going to turn in a real star performance at this World Cup. 5 goals, 2 games. It's astonishing.
Know what I love, Dan? I've literally, just as we're standing here, I watched the second goal on the TV screen in front of me, and it wasn't a Messi type goal. There was a kind of scramble in the box. It just shows desire and hunger. The kind of desire and hunger he was showing as a young kid, when he came into the Barcelona team. I feel as if I've not seen him score a goal like that in a long time. So I think that just proves what this means to him. 5 goals in 2 games, irrespective of the opposition, I think it's incredible. I said to Jacko, I mean, and maybe it was naive of me, I'm surprised. I didn't think he had this kind of World Cup performance left in him, just because where he's been playing his football, the age he's at. I mean, I still expected him to have an impact on Argentina and have a big influence, but I mean, he's single-handedly getting them through the group stage.
And you know something, and this is where the comparisons will always be made with Maradona. Maradona was the guy that single-handedly took Argentina to a World Cup, and it was genuinely single-handedly.
Yep.
Messi in the last World Cup, obviously head and shoulders above anybody else in the competition. Decent team around about him, and he's still got the framework of a decent team around about him. But I just feel that this whole stage is set for him. And two games, he scored all the goals, 5 goals, 2 games. This is shaping up as the ultimate
crowning moment.
Yeah, the ultimate Lionel Messi tribute. The whole World Cup, and I'm here for that. I cannot get enough of that. He's just an absolute genius. Best player of all time for me.
The all-time best, absolutely. The last comment I want to finish on, guys. Liam Murphy's been in touch. He says, thumbs up for Hotline Live. Great show. Been watching all season, enjoying the World Cup shows, and I don't even support Scotland or a Scottish team. So, Liam, thank you very much. That will cheer Keith up tonight.
Thank you, Liam. Yes, you put a smile on my grumpy old face.
There you go. Excellent. Well, listen, I think that more or less brings us to the end of Monday night's Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. Thank you, not just to Liam, but to all of the comments. We massively appreciate it. And we'll be back to do it all again tomorrow. Keith, Scott, I'll see you soon.
Cheers, Dan.
Yeah, well, we can see you for here, actually.
See you in about 30 seconds.
Tell the truth.
Aye, that's it.
big sweat stains down the back of your shirt.
Honestly, I'm struggling. Big time. But thank you very much for everyone watching at home. I'll go and get a shower and changed, and we hope you can join us again
Scottish
tomorrow.
Water's good for that, Dan.
Exactly, spot on. Thank you for watching. Hope you can join us tomorrow. Cheers.